Because mind you, when Tasha gets into her house, she already said she wants a whole year where she don't want nobody staying with her, which I could understand because the whole time she was at that old place, she always had people staying with her, and they got lucky because her house was like 5-10 minutes away from my house. Not even 10 minutes, like 5 minutes away from my house. They had literally just built them. Literally, I think when they got approved for them, they just finished building them. So it was brand spanking brand new. Like, they're the first family to live in there. So I could understand why she didn't want anybody to stay with them. But at this time, like, I know Dre, and Dre was like offering to like the same thing he was doing with Jessica, come mow my lawn. And one thing, when I went over there to see the house, and he was like, because I was telling them like how I wanted the grill knocked down because I don't like it. I don't know how to grill. I remember telling them that. And it was like, he'll come over there. Him and Junior will knock it down, because at this time him and Junior ended up getting a really good job because of him. So they ended up getting back on good terms. So it was like, oh, they're gonna come over and they're gonna knock it down and they're just gonna pave it down for me. And they was like, I was like, how much y'all gonna charge me? And he was like, he's not gonna charge me nothing, because out of all Tasha's family, I'm the only one that don't be asking them to do anything for them. I'm the only one that don't be begging him to do stuff for me for free. Everybody else always want him to do something without paying him or anything. And he's like, and then you're by yourself. So I could understand. Tasha was like, yeah, because, my mom still be asking for him to fix the car and just be driving the car over here and be like, oh, you need to go look at what's wrong with my car. Like, not even asking him or anything like that. And then, then she brought up the whole Ghislaine situation too. I was like, oh, yeah, I'll let y'all know when I'm ready to get it, boulder down or whatever. So when before, like, because I said, like, Dre kept accusing her, but every time I would go to her house, she always kept bringing up the pastor situation. I'm like, and then you wonder why this guy is constantly accusing you of cheating, because that's all you talk about is that whole pastor situation. But this is when I found it really weird too. So a couple of months when they moved in, they also got a door cam, but he installed it himself. Then he installs cameras in all the rooms except their room, and I think the garage. I'm not sure. I don't think there's a camera in the garage, but I'm not 100% sure. But I know for a simple fact because Tasha started to work from home too, so her computer and everything was in her room. So when I would go to her room to go talk to her, you can see all like the Quickie Mart where they have all the pictures of all the rooms, and you can see, and it was on her TV. They had hooked it up into the TV. So he had put a camera in the boys' room, the girls' room, the living room, and I think and there was 2 or 3 cameras outside of the house. And I'm like, why do y'all have cameras in the kids' room? She was like, well, her youngest, the one that ended up having surgery, he be peeing on the bed, and they won't, he'll get up and change his clothes and then go back into bed like nothing happened. And then she was like, but for the girls, just to make sure, they're doing what they're supposed to. And I found that really weird because, one, they're girls, and at that time, her girls was almost the same age as my second oldest and my third. No, because I had my kids before. No, we had them around the same time, I think. So they're around the same. So I'm like, that's one thing, because I knew working in the group home, you can't have cameras in somebody's personal room. Even though if they're children, that's against the law. You can't have cameras in somebody's personal space, because that's their privacy, regardless if they're kids or not. I believe in that sometimes, especially this not really their father. I mean, yeah, he's being like, he taught them how to ride the bike, and like, this is what we're seeing on the outside. Like, he's really being a good stepfather because he'll do stuff for them that their own dad wasn't doing. And at this time, like, he was spiraling his own self. He couldn't keep a job. This is like the second year into the COVID situation. So he was like going through stuff with his wife, and then they're still getting talked about how nasty they are, how dirty they are. And I think they had a roommate, or his wife's twin sister was staying with them, because that's who was watching Isaac and his new wife's baby. And they had some other guy that was staying with them. And Tasha kept saying, like, she didn't really trust him because that's who her ex-husband was leaving the kids with. And I feel weird when men has to watch little girls. And she was already saying that he already gave like pedophile vibes. I was like, okay. So I'm already seeing, like, I'm like, I wouldn't have put, the only things I was asking them about was putting cameras in my living room and in the hallway, because my kids still do it to this day. Like, you'll ask them who left that plate, or who left that, or who spilled that, it's always Layla. It's always my autistic daughters. It's always her. Like, they don't be doing nothing. And they know they be doing it because I know when my son's lying. So when I tell him, like, no, I know I seen you do it, he's like, oh, yeah, it was me. Why does it have to tell you that you did it for you to... So that's when I was like, yeah, I would like cameras in my living room and in the hallway, so I know, like, who's coming out the room, who's messing with stuff, who's breaking this stuff. Because at this time, I had bought... Yeah, I had to replace the bunk beds. I had just got them. I had to buy a brand new one because that one, because they kept jumping on them, it completely fell apart. So I had to buy another bunk bed for them. So that was the second one. I was so pissed because I was like, I ain't even get my bed set yet. So when Tasha comes to my house and she's starting to discuss the whole her Isabel situation, how now Isabel husband, her are getting into it all the time, and to the point where he's like, I guess Isabel is ready to leave him. So she was like, Isabel would be the only person that she will allow to come to her house before the year, because even when she didn't have a place to stay, Isabel couldn't, because Isabel didn't have no room, of course.